start with the topic pharmacotherapeutics of malaria. So malaria, it is a disease caused by a plasmodium parasite transmitted by the bite of infected mosquito. So the severity of malaria varies based upon the species of the plasmodium. So the common symptoms are chills, fever, and sweating, weakness for a few weeks, and the treatment includes anti-malarial drugs. People traveling to the areas where malaria is common typically take protective drugs before, during, and after their trip. So the introduction part. In the introduction part, it is a disease caused by Plasmodium parasite, which is transmitted by the bite of infected mosquitoes. So it is a life-threatening disease. So it varies from person to person and the species to species. And the symptoms of chills, fever, and sweating usually occurs in a few weeks after being bitten. The people traveling to the areas where malaria is common typically take protective drugs before, during, and after their trip. Treatment includes the anti-malarial drugs. Then next slide is the definition. What is the definition of the malaria? It is the intermittent and the remittent fever caused by a protozoa parasite, which invade the blood cells. So it invade the blood cells and is transmitted by mosquitoes in many tropical and the subtropical regions. So the malaria is a life-threatening disease caused by the parasite. The people through the bites of the infected female Anopheles mosquitoes, it is preventable and curable. So in 2018 there were an estimate 228 million cases of malaria worldwide. The estimated number of malaria deaths stood at 405,000 in 2018. So malaria is will occur at irregular intervals, not continuously in a steady way, and remittent. So the fever is regular and irregularly the fever will persist when the malaria attacks into the body. So the transmission, how the transmission of malaria parasite. So I have studied in the early classes malaria. It is a protozoal disease, no? So how it transmitted from mosquito to human. The sporozoites injected into the human host during lead meals. Here you can see it is get injected, and the first we will discuss in mosquito, then we will go with human. So mosquito, the sporozoites injects into the human host during blood meal. So it is injected in the blood, human blood. The parasite undergoes the sexual reproduction in the mosquito. So the parasite, here reproduction is going to take place, and the parasite matures in the mosquito midgut and migrate to salivary glands. So it will get matured in the midgut and it is transferred to the salivary glands. And so from mosquito to human, the exoerythrocytic, the hepatic cycle, it is sporozoites infect liver cells. It will infect the liver cells and develop into schizonoids, which release merozoites into the blood. So the merozoites, it will release the merozoites into the blood. So it directly affects the liver. So that's why only as liver is a very sensitive organ in the body. So it gets affected to the liver. So that why only we will say it as a life-threatening disease. The dormant liver stage, hypnozoites of Plasmodium vivax and Plasmodium ovale. So the erythrocytic cycle, merozoites infect red cells. So the next slide is signs and symptoms of malaria. The malaria is an acute febrile illness. So it is a acute febrile illness. Having or showing the symptom of a fever, it is acute febrile fever, means it shows a symptom of a fever. In a non-immune individual, symptoms usually appear 10 to 15 days after the infective mosquito. So children with severe malaria frequently develop one or more of the following symptoms. So the symptoms are severe anemia, blood loss will due to blood count will be decreased. In children, respiratory distress in relation to metabolic acidosis. So respiratory distress, unable to take the breath, or inhalation. In children it is most common, or cerebral malaria. So it affects to the brain. The symptom, main pain areas in the abdomen or muscles, whole body, chills, fatigue, fever, night sweats, shivering or the sweating. So the pain area is the abdominal area and the muscle area, and the whole body chills will persist at night time. The fatigue, it is a over tiredness with low energy, fever, high fever, night sweats, shivering or sweating. The gastrointestinal problem, symptoms like diarrhea, nausea or vomiting. It is common in fast heart rate, headache, mental confusion or pallor, paleness of the skin. So the pathogenesis of the malaria. So it is a hemogyne. First part is the hemogyne. Hemogyne is a plasmodium derived. So plasmodium derived hemogyne will attack to the plasmodium DNA here, the DNA. The TLR, so the TLR 9 recognizes plasmodium DNA and initiates the innate immune response. So here it's signaling. So, then the protein synthesis is going to take place here, and the pro-inflammatory cytokinins. The pro-inflammatory cytokinins, COX-2 inhibitors, upregulates the prostaglandins, leading to a change in the set point of the thermoregulatory centers. So, the hemojoin present in the intermediate plasmodium DNA gets transferred to the TLR9, recognizes plasmodium DNA and initiates the innate immune response here. So the NF-kappa B activate pro-inflammatory cytokinins, induce COX-2. So the COX-2 upregulates prostaglandins, leading to a change in the set point of the thermoregulatory centers. So pathogenesis of malaria. The diagnosis. So the diagnosis, malaria parasite test is an identified by the examining under the microscope. A drop of the patient's blood is spread out as a blood smear on a microscope slide. So the malaria parasite test will be done, the normal blood test and the antigen detection test. The antigen says the F5 is malaria, Salmonella malarium. Antigen detection test will be. These are the diagnosis for the malaria. The most important aspect is the treatment. The treatment includes the pharmacological and the non-pharmacological treatment. So the pharmacological treatment and the pharmacological treatment. So before going to the non-pharmacological treatment, let me say the risk factors of malaria. The risk factors of malaria in young children and the infants and in older adults, travelers coming from areas with no malaria, in pregnant women and unborn child. Then these are the risk factors for malaria. So the treatment, the non-pharmacological treatment, fluid and electrolyte replacement is a mainstay of therapy in patients with severe dehydration. See, in malaria condition, the patient will be dehydrated. So fluid electrolyte therapy will be given. The IV fluids, not the IV fluids, electrolyte replacement is another fluid diet, taking of coconut water. Then diets consisting of medium chain triglycerides may help decrease the severity of diarrhea. In some patients, diarrhea will be there. So the medium chain triglycerides diet should be taken. And the nutrition supplements may be necessary in the patient with prolonged malabsorption. So in patients with malabsorption, the nutrition, parenteral nutrition may be necessary in those conditions. And so the pharmacological therapy. In pharmacological therapy, the goals of the therapy is relieving the signs and symptoms of the disease, decrease morbidity and mortality associated with the infections. Yes, every clinician or every physician or every healthcare profession main intention is to decrease the morbidity and the mortality rate. So to prevent the clinical attack of malaria, prophylactic treatment should be given. To treat the clinical attack of malaria, clinical curative, to completely eradicate the parasite from the patient's body. Radical curative, to cut down human to mosquito transmission. Gametocidal, this everything with the pharmacological treatment. The help of drugs, they will be these are the goals of the therapy. So the pharmacological classification of malaria, anti-malarial drugs. The first class is 4 aminoquinols. In this chloroquine, amidoquine, pipraquine. See, keep in your mind these 4 aminoquinols. The next class is quinol, methanol. The examples of mefloquine. And the third one is cinchona alkaloids, the quinine and the quinidine. And the fourth one is biguanides. As you can recall these biguanides in diabetes mellitus and oral hypoglycemic agents. Biguanides are examples are proguanil, chlorproguanil. So the next class is sesquiterpene lactones, artesunate, artemether, artether. So these are the first line drugs for antimalarial drugs. And the next class is amino alcohols, halofantrine, lumefantrine. And the next class is manic base. It is the examples are pyronaridine. And the next class is nactoquinol. Nactoquinol is atovaquone. So the antimalarial therapy and the parasite life cycle. This is the life cycle. So drugs used to treat acute attack. So the first acute attack. So there are 2, acute attack and the chronic attack. Acute means starting stage. Chronic means it's latent stage. So the blood seroticidal agents, quinine, those are the quinine, mefloquine, atovaquone, pyrimethamine, artemether, artesunate. So these are the drugs are used in the acute attacks. Means first line attack. The drugs that affect a radical cure. Those are the tissue shinjoaticidal, primaquine and tafenquine. Drugs used for chemoprophylaxis. Those who will kill the sporozoites, which are used to kill the sporozoites. Chemoprophylaxis. Those are the chloroquine, mefloquine, propanil, pyrimethamine. So we will discuss with the individual drug. The first drug is chloroquine. Chloroquine in oral form is given 250 mg or 500 mg. The mechanism of action is to it gets concentrated in the the malarial parasite foot vacuoles. It get concentrated, so it prevents the polymerization of the hemoglobin. So it break down to product heme into hemoglobin. So here polymerization is taking place in this condition. So the uses with the acute malaria, it is used in the acute malaria and the suppressive prophylaxis. So the adverse events are diarrhea, loose stools, and the loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting, stomach cramps, pruritus. It is uncomfortable irritation sensation that creates an urge to scratch that can involve any part of the body. And the stomach cramps, vomiting, retinopathy. It is an infection of the retina. Quinoline, ethanols derivatives. Quinine sulfate, qualaquine, it is given 500 mg per day per orally and IV 8 to 14 hours intravenous. So the mechanism of action is inhibition of heme polymerization. So the uses are to treat the falciparum malaria. So it is combined with the tetracycline and tetracyclines are the antibiotics, the doxycyclines are the clindamycins. So it is combined and given with the antibiotics. So mefloquine half-life is 30 days. So the dose is 250 mg per day. The mechanism of action is same, inhibition of heme polymerization, uses of chemoprophylaxis and treatment, and it is contraindication patient with a history of seizures, depression. It is used in these patients. Seizures are fits, and these are the neurological disorders, depression, mania. These are the neurological disorders. So the adverse effects are nausea, vomiting, dizziness, sleep, and behavioral disturbances, epigastric pain, diarrhea, abdominal pain. Dizziness is the sensation of spinning around and losing one's balance. The behavioral disturbances means they won't sit in a proper way, so they will do disturbances here and there, like mental patients. Artesunate. Artesunate, the dosage is 60 mg per a vial. It is given intravenous. The route is intravenous. The route of drug administration is intravenous. The mechanism of action is it inhibits DNA and DNA replication and transcription. Here the DNA replication and the transcription takes place in the body. So the uses are to treat acute attack of malaria, cerebral malaria. Adverse effects are cardiotoxicity, high doses when given in high doses. Then the neurotoxicity, neurological toxicity. It damages to the brain. In the cardiotoxicity, it damages to the heart. So the artemether and lumefantrine. So the drug is artemether and the lumefantrine. It is given. The dosage is 20 mg and 120 mg per oral. The half-life is 2 hours. Artemether and the lumefantrine is 3 to 6 days. The mechanism of action is the both artemether and the lumefantrine inhibits nucleic acid, and here the protein synthesis is going to take place in the body. So the metabolism via lumefantrine CYP2D6, artemether CYP3A4. These are the they will metabolize with this. So these enzymes uses a treatment of acute attack of malaria and the cerebral malaria. That is cerebral malaria. The adverse effects are abdominal pain, anorexia, arthalgia, chills, dizziness, fatigue, headache, myalgia. The abdominal pain, the abdominal pain below the stomach, and the anorexia. Anorexia, it is a eating disorder. Generally in obese patients, this anorexia will be happening, and next chills. Dizziness is a losing of one's balance. It's a losing of one's balance. So dizziness, fatigue, it's a weakness. Fatigue is a overtiredness with low energy. There won't be sufficient energy in this condition, and overtiredness. The patient sleepy mode. Yeah, you want to sleep. So headache, myalgia is a muscle pain. Muscle pain, soreness and achiness in the muscles. So the next one is arthralgia. It's a physical discomfort of bones made from a joint, ranging from mild to disabling. So the drugs affecting synthesis and the utilization of folate. PAPA, with the help of enzyme dihydropetroate synthase, so this PABA, para amino benzoic acid with dihydropetroate synthase enzyme leads to the folate. With the folate, this dihydrofolate reductase enzyme gives this tetrahydrofolate, and here the synthesis of thymidylate synthesis will be happening, and here DNA synthesis will be takes place. Pyrimethamine. So the drugs are the dosage is 25 mg per day orally. Mechanism of action is folic acid folic acid antagonist. So it is a folic acid is a type of B vitamin which is normally found in the foods. The uses are to treat acute attack of the malaria, abdominal cramps, the adverse effects of abdominal cramps, abnormal skin pigmentation, analgesics, anorexia. The antibiotics used in malaria are the doxycycline and the tetracycline used in acute attack of malaria and chemoprophylaxis purpose. It's used for the chemoprophylaxis purpose. Sometimes given in the combination with the other drugs. It is used with artemether, artesunate, and the clindamycin is also used in the combination. These antibiotics are used in the as a prophylaxis or treatment for malaria, and it is used in the combination with the anti-malarial drugs. So the tetracyclines, the doxycycline, doxycycline given orally and IV 5 mg per day. The mechanism of action is tetracycline inhibit the protein synthesis by competition with tRNA for A site. The uses of oral quinine and the doxycycline for acute attacks. So orally, oral chloroquine and the doxycycline for chemoprophylaxis. Here we said no, with the chloroquinines, with the quinines, this combination is they will give to the they will use in the treatment of malaria, the acute attack. And the adverse effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, dizziness, photosensitivity as they are sensitive to light, headaches, staining of teeth. Clindamycin when orally or IV. Mechanism of action is inhibit the ribosomal translocation. It inhibits the ribosomal translocation. So the uses are to treat the malaria. Always use it. It should always be used in a combination with quinine and quinidine. Diarrhea, nausea, and the rashes. The allergic reactions on the skin. The diarrhea is blue stool and the nausea is vomiting sensation. So the treatment algorithm for malaria. Suspected case, if the physician to hospitalized patient, if they suspected a case, then they will do RTD and the microscopy, the diagnostic center diagnostic, and whether it is a positive or negative, positive falciparum or non-falciparum. If it is negative, signs consistent with complicated. Then falciparum, the treatment protocol, according to the treatment protocol, they will treat the patient. In severe malaria, the treatment protocol will be there. And the non-falciparum, so chloroquine and primaquine will be given, and in negative case the signs consistent, complicated, and here the anti-malarial treatment while further investigation and referral is underway. And next one, look for other causes, reviews, and refer. So this is the treatment algorithm for malaria. So the chemoprophylaxis is indicated for travelers travel to endemic areas. Mefloquine 250 mg weekly up to 1 year, or doxycycline 100 mg daily they should give it to start for a week before and continue till 4 weeks after the living area. This is a chemoprophylaxis. So the dosing schedule for doxycycline: weight in kg, age in year, number of tablets. So see, they will consider weight, age, then only the physician will prescribe a tablet. So if it is 25 to 35 kg weight, and the age in year is 8 to 10 years, then the number of tablets are half tablet they should be given. If the weight 36 kg to 50 kg, the age 11 years to 30 years, 3/4 tablets should be given. And the weight is 50 kg or above 50 kg. If the age is 14 years or above 14 years, 1 tablet in a day. This overall dosing schedule for the doxycycline. This doxycycline plays a major role in malaria. It is an antibiotic. So these are the important questions. For the examination point of view, it is very important.